Hello and welcome to the Monocle Weekly. I'm Fernando Augusto Pacheco, and on today's show, let's talk art. It's a pleasure to welcome my fellow Brazilian, João Paulo Siqueira Lopes, one of the top art advisors in the country and founder of Panorama. He stopped by a Midori house to join us in the studio. João Paulo Siqueira Lopes, welcome to Monocle Radio. Pleasure to have you here. Second time at Midori House, but now in studio.
Thank you very much, Fernando. It's a pleasure to be here.
And before we talk about your work, tell us, you're here in London because, of course, we're one of the biggest art weeks of the year, at least in the city. Are you enjoying it so far?
Very much so. I love London. I have lived part-time of my life here. And I've been coming to this art week in the past 12 or maybe 15 years. So it always feels good to be back in London and enjoy all the cultural activities and exhibitions, seeing my friends, seeing my colleagues, seeing the auction houses. So yes, it's very exciting.
You did live here for a bit. You worked at Lisson Gallery, right? That's fantastic. Was that one of your first kind of jobs in a way, in that sense?
I would say it was the most important one. I have worked for Lisson Gallery for 3 years and a half. I was sharing my time between Sao Paulo and London. We opened an office for Lisson Gallery in Sao Paulo. But I was coming here to London like 4 times a week and staying a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So in a way, I can consider that I have lived here because I had my routine, I had my habits. I like the city a lot. It has been really, really enriching and fulfilling to work with the Logsdales. I'm not sure, but I think Lisson Gallery will soon turn 60.
Wow.
Yeah, years old. Yeah, so I have learned a lot, and by the time that I worked there, which was from 2014 to mid 2017, Nicholas Logsdale, the founder of Lisson, was very much present in the day-by-day of the gallery, and we were quite close, which for me was also something unexpected. He was always interested in being surrounded by the young people in the gallery. I think it was in order to make him feel, more in the avant-garde of things, surrounded by youth. And no, it was a great experience. Then Lisson Gallery opened in New York in 2015 or 16, I can't remember exactly, but I shared my time between London and New York when they opened.
Well, let's move forward a little bit, because this has been a very important year for you, because you launched Panorama, which is focused on art advisory. But I wonder if you can tell us a bit more about Panorama. That's a very exciting new step as well in your career, right?
Yes, absolutely. So I've been working as an art advisor since I left Lisson Gallery, which was 2017. So I started my first company called ACT, Art Consulting Tool. I left ACT last year and launched Panorama on April this year. So it's a great moment of my life and my career, because I feel Panorama is really my vision, my experience, my way of sharing art and thinking and feeling about art. So as much as also this is a personal endeavor, I have a team with me. We are a small team. We are 6 people now. I have Maria Antonia and Carolina. They work with me in dealing with clients, galleries, searching for artworks, and the other part of the team who's based in the office in Sao Paulo.
And before we talk a bit more about your clients and everything, I mean, when you are an art advisor, when you have a company like Panorama, you must know your clients so much because art, for me at least, is something very personal as well. So how does it work, your relationship with the clients? You must meet them and have drinks and dinners, I presume, as well, to get to know them. It must be like a bonding, right?
Yes. It's a very relational
Mm.
work, I would say. I try to combine the social and personal aspects of it with content, expertise, and experiences. It's quite impressive how the number of art advisors has grown in the past years. I think people in the art circuit, they realized that being an advisor allows you to have a lot of freedom to manage your time, to get to travel. And as I've been doing this for now soon 10 years, I think I have seen the modus operandi of art advisors changing a lot. And I see my clients very often. I speak to them very often. Of course, it's also a matter of choice of the client. You know, some people, they want to talk on a weekly basis. Some people twice a week or each 15 days. But in general, we're quite close. And I'm very often seeing their houses, traveling with them. I know their children when they have children, very often I'm installing works in the bedrooms. So in a way, it's soon, you soon develop a sort of intimate relationship with the client. And what I like to think is also, I'm not planning to have an impact on their taste. I think taste is a very personal thing. But I like to open horizons and then sort of bring filters. I think the world today is so full of everything, and there are so many artists, so many galleries, so many fairs, biennials. So the exercise is really to open it at first and then taking into consideration what we see, what we feel, what touches us aesthetically, emotionally, intellectually, and then filter.
Who are your clients? I mean, are they Brazilian? Are they an international crowd? I mean, because let's be honest, even Brazilians, we can be very international. Maybe a Brazilian living in London or in Lisbon or in New York.
Yes. So I went to live in Paris to study in 2010. So by the time I was studying curatorial affairs at Institut des Études Supérieures des Arts, and I started working there for Nathalie Obadia, which is a great gallery based in Paris. And after that, I went to New York. I have worked for Gagosian Gallery. I went back to Paris and worked for FIAC, the fair. Since most of my experiences were not in Brazil, I had developed a great network abroad. So I would say half of my clients are Brazilians, based between Brazil and different countries. And the other half, they are people from all over the world, really. I'm a little less active in Asia in comparison to other territories. But I've been trying to develop a little more there. I think there are very interesting things happening and very interesting people. So I went to Japan this year. I went to Hong Kong last year and to Bangkok. Yes. Asia is in the radar a little bit.
Is a good kind of spot to look out at. But let's talk about our country, Brazil, right? And especially São Paulo. I mean, the biennial is currently happening there in the city. I think it's been quite a success. Is it a good city to be if you work in the art market? How do you see that?
Definitely. It has definitely changed a lot since SCP Arte, the fair, started.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that I went to the first edition and I have never missed one.
Kind of launched Panorama at the SP Arte earlier this year, right?
Exactly. There were 2 events to launch Panorama. I had a dinner for gallerists and clients. We were 48 people. Seated dinner was fun. It was a little bit of a slightly surrealist dinner with some unexpected things, like a Spanish guitarist. There were texts printed on silk napkins, famous texts in the art history. I mean, it was super fun. Great food, great vibe. And also, in the week of the fair, I organized a little party that I could invite some of the artists that I've been supporting throughout the years, and some other friends of the company, the new company in a way, people that are involved, also publishing books too. So I could...
You have a relationship with Freedom Press, right? Or
Right, exactly. So I have collaborated with Freedom Press in 4 publications. And it was a great experience. They have done a book about Latin American art, which is like a large survey. And I have written texts about some of my favorite artists in Brazil, Hélio Oiticica, whose state is also now currently represented by Listen Gallery, Ana Maria Maiolino, who won the Lion at the past Venice Biennale, and Cildo Meirelles. Yeah.
Very good names.
Yeah, very good names. And I've also chosen the artists that are part of the book. I've also collaborated with another book called Prime about up-and-coming artists, and another one of the Vitamin series. The one that I was involved was about artists that work with text. And this is also something that I'm very interested in. Just coming back to Sao Paulo, very much so. I think Sao Paulo, together with Mexico City, are the main art cities in Latin America. They have similarities, I feel, but Sao Paulo somehow is maybe a little more in a leading position in regards to Sao Paulo Biennial. Sao Paulo Biennial started in 1951, and when you study the history of Sao Paulo Biennial, you understand the relevance of it. There were moments in which the biennial was more or less strong, or let's say more or less in the eyes of the world. But luckily, and not only luckily, but also due to hard work of the biennial curatorial team and also the biennial admin team, the biennial is very much in the spotlight of the world these days. And I feel this year's biennial, curated by Bonaventure, is really a special one.
I look forward to see it actually when I go in December, hopefully. And what about Brazilian art? Of course, you know, it's well known. It's a very respected market. But at least as a Brazilian living in Europe, I saw more exhibitions in Paris, even here in London, of Brazilian artists, something that I haven't seen that much before. Do you think it's changing? Do you think there's more appreciation towards Brazilian art? or maybe not, or maybe you don't see actually such an uptick?
I think so, yes. This year was, again, an official year between Brazil and France.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a season. If I'm not mistaken, it started in February or March till summer. And not sure if you've seen this in Paris, but there's a project called Aberto.
Aberto, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That Felipe Assis and Kiki Mazzucchelli, who are good friends of mine, together with Cláudia Moreira Salles, are doing in Brazil. So it's a very interesting project. They rent historical houses and they do these shows, like putting the chosen house in dialogue with art and design in a way.
It's a fantastic idea. I'm a big fan of Aberto here.
Exactly. And it was the first time they've done Aberto outside of Brazil. And because of the France-Brazil season in Paris, they got this Corbusier house and did it there, and it was a great success. Another artist that I really like, Marina Heingans, had a beautiful show in the museum in Nîmes. Ana Maria Maiolino had a show in the Picasso Museum. I think Brazilian art got a special role in institutions all over the world in the past 3 years. I would say it has to do with Adriano Pedrosa being the first Brazilian curator in the Venice Biennale last year, and this good moment in which museums are in Sao Paulo. MASP opened a new building, and Pinacoteca also opened a new building. The exhibitions are very good in both museums. The administration is very good. The museums are in good financial health. And the galleries are very good in Sao Paulo.
I'm proud. I feel proud here. What's next, João? You're here in London, but of course there are more fairs to visit. Are you going to Art Basel Paris?
I'm going to Art Basel Paris.
What do you think? Because that's a fairly newish kind of fair, right? The move to Paris. Quite an interesting one.
Exactly. I mean, in the first place, I have an emotional relationship to this fair because I've worked for this fair in the past. And the director of FIAC, when I worked there, Jennifer Flay, was also a great mentor to me. So this is a fair I really enjoy. Having an art fair inside of the Grand Palais is an ultimate luxury. Just chic, exactly.
Yes, just chic.
And now that is under Art Basel umbrella, of course, the setup is really sophisticated. The services are really good. It's definitely a great experience. The selection of galleries is also very good. Paris is also a very vibrant city in the art system these days. I mean, it has always been because of its great institutions and art history. But there are more collectors based in Paris right now.
Good for you. I was going to ask as well, João, on a personal level, perhaps to end this interview here, what do you have at your apartment? Well, like, what type of art do you actually consume on a personal level? Maybe you can give some inspiration to us. If you want to mention names, or if you like sculptures, or give me some insights on that one.
I always have trouble answering to this question.
It's too personal, maybe.
No. It's, as this is what I do for a living, and this is my mission in the world, when it comes to me, I'm a little less strategic, a little less organized, a little less rigorous. I do this so much for other people, and then when it comes to me, I'm a little all over the place. I mean, it's the same thing that I always tell my clients. You need to buy art that touches your heart.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds a little cliche, but the beauty and the poetry about buying art is that you're bringing ideas, thoughts, revolution, inspiration, dreams to you, to your house. And the fact that this can become a little rational should never remove this, should never take this more emotional aspect out of it. I have quite a lot of art in my house. I'm now building a second house by the beach, and I'm now choosing the art. For this, I'm being a little more organized. But in my house, I have photography from the 20s to Latin American painters from the 70s to very young painters who are now, I don't know, not even 30 years old. I was focusing all my attention on the launching of Panorama and organizing Panorama. But now I feel in the coming years, I should really also focus a little more on my collection and organize it a little bit better.
That's fantastic. Muito obrigado, João. A pleasure to talk to you.
Muito obrigado, Fernando. Also a pleasure.
Thank you, João. And you can follow Panorama on Instagram on panorama.artadvisory. I'm Fernando Augusto Pacheco. The show was edited by Elliot Greenfield. Thank you for listening.